I'd like to call this message that truth is the sacrifice offered upon the altar of the narcissist. I'll read from the book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 10 and 11. I'm going to reduce and condense the verses here. Because they received not the love of the truth, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Because they received not the love of the truth. Your narcissistic enabler, your narcissistic flying monkey, your family member, your child maybe, your aunt, your uncle, your sibling, your coworker, whoever it may be, that takes sides with the narcissistic, malignant narcissistic person who has abused you, toyed with you, and exploited you. We know one thing about them. We know one thing about the enabler, the narcissistic enabler, the narcissistic's flying monkey. We know this much about him. He is a person. He or she is an individual who has not received a love for truth. They don't love truth. They refuse to acknowledge reality. They refuse to acknowledge the injustice and the oppression and the abuse that was meted out by the narcissist in your life. They don't want to see it. Why? Why don't they want to see it? Why don't they acknowledge what happened to me? Why don't they want to support me? Why don't they want to admit that what this person did to you and me was heinous, was wrong, was unfair, was criminal? Why is it that some of these enablers, many of them, appear to be reasonable, good, morally reasonable, good citizens, nice everyday people, just ordinary folk. Yet they take sides with the narcissist. Some of them do his bidding. Why? Why do they do this? I think the Bible gives us a pretty good clue as to why. It's a condition of their heart. It's the way they prioritize things in life. They don't love truth. They don't love the reality. They don't love sincerity. Jesus, who calls himself the truth, he put it this way. He said, "You cannot serve me and mammon. You're either going to love one or you're going to love the other. You can't love both. You can't serve both. You can't be a servant of truth and be a servant of mammon." Mammon, for those who don't know, it's money, it's material wealth, or just materialism at large. It's an old English word for materialism, egotism, reputation, one's reputation in the world. You have got to love truth more than your own life. That's how truth is. If you're going to have truth in your life, if you're going to be a man or woman of truth, you have to value truth above all. More than your mother, more than your father, more than any amount of money, more than your son, more than your daughter, more than your own life. And there are people who have died. There are people who have been martyred and persecuted and killed because they honored the truth above their own life. You who have gone no contact, many of you have sacrificed everything materially. Many of you have lost decades-old relationships, an inheritance, financial security. But I'll tell you why you did it. You did it not only to protect yourself from the narcissist, but you also went no contact because you value the truth above all else. And I want you to know that your Heavenly Father, that God in heaven sees this. He knows this. Let me tell you what your narc enabler has lost. He may have gained the inheritance. He may have financial security while you're barely making ends meet, if at all. He may be the life of the family gathering. But he has sacrificed something so precious when he laid the truth on the altar to the narcissist. When he, figuratively speaking, took the truth, cut its throat open, and laid it on an altar in homage to the family narc. He gave up something. He gave up something a lot more precious than money and stuff. He gave up the most integral, I don't know if I'm saying that right, integral part of his being, the most important, one of the most, if not the most important part of his being. He gave up a part of his autonomy. He gave up his individuality. When he laid the truth, when he laid his own personal truth upon the altar to the narcissist, he sacrificed his own innate ability to discern and to judge right from wrong. And if your enablers and your flying monkeys, if they keep it up, if they continue down this road of supporting and backing the narcissist, they will eventually lose their soul altogether. Thank you.